Hello there, I'm Dark Shades and I'm broadcasting out of the east of England. Welcome to my channel and thank you for passing by and allowing me to enter into your space for a little while. You can put the thumbs up if you like what I talk about, the thumbs down if you don't. You can share if you think somebody else might find it interesting, or you can subscribe if you want to see more of me. I do these videos kind of ad hoc really, because I've got another channel called Black Bright News, which is a much more serious channel. So this one, even though it's serious, I do try to make it a bit light-hearted, and I try to make this channel, which is Dark Shades, more relationship based. So I got a text this morning, and even though I've covered mind games in the past, I'm still being asked to talk about it. So I think there are just so many mind games that if I miss out a section of the mind games, somebody feels as though I haven't covered it. Anyway, the message I got this morning was I haven't spoken to him since the 14th of October. I've called him and he hasn't responded. Now, this is a relationship where they're trying to build a relationship. At the moment, it's platonic. By that, I mean non-sexual. And they see each other, they go out for dinner. And the young lady who is involved in this gentleman, she obviously feels a lot about him, a lot for him. But it appears that he's playing games. And normally, when men play games, they're not just playing games with the one party, they're playing games with more than one person. So it would strike me that this individual is kind of stringing her along and also stringing someone else along. It's obviously one of these people who are non-committal. Most people who play games are. It's a kind of an avoidance, emotional avoidance strategy. They don't want to get too involved. They're afraid of getting involved. They're afraid of, their feelings coming to the surface. So they keep a distance and they behave in obnoxious ways. And it's a form of self-sabotage, really. Playing games is a form of sabotage because when the person finds out they're playing games, they normally leave, and then that person will think, oh, well, that person didn't meet my expectations anyway. So there are so many ways to play games, and I just wrote down a few things here. He says he's going to call, but he doesn't, or he doesn't even have to say he's going to call. If, like this young lady, she's called him and everything was fine, and he hasn't called her back, and it's now, 10, 12 days later, it makes her feel uncomfortable. As far as she's concerned, it's a friendship that is supposed to be leading to somewhere. But when he doesn't call her for 14 days, that is punishment. And it's a shame that women allow themselves to get caught up in that. And it's weird because regardless of how old we get and as how mature we get, we still have that part of us that wants to believe that people are who we think they are. We can't believe that, some people are just bastards. You know what I mean? They're just cruel people. They're people who just want to play around with your mind. But the goodness in us, and sometimes because we have goodness in ourselves, we tend to see goodness in others, and it's not there. And you try and justify and you make all the reasons up why that person hasn't called me back. Then you start thinking, oh, I wonder if it's something I did. You start kind of having a go at yourself when you've got nothing to do with it. It's just somebody who's playing around with your mind. And he'll probably call her in about a week or two's time, or 3 weeks' time, or maybe even a month. Go on like nothing's happened, and she's going to be so relieved that he's called her. He's got her where he wants her. It's really, really difficult. And I don't even know the answer, because until a woman is hurt enough and has had enough, she's going to put up with it. There's nothing anyone can say or do that can stop that process from happening. People have to fall and get up, fall and get up. People have to make their own mistakes. There's no point telling anyone that their behavior is wrong, that they're not doing the right thing, that they should do A, they should do B. They have to do it when they are ready. Otherwise, it's going to be like water off a duck's back. They're not going to listen because they have something in their mind that contradicts common sense. And until common sense meets their emotions, it's going to happen time and time again. So they cancel appointments. They say they're going to call, but they don't. They say they like you, and then, but they don't make it official, like this one. I'm sure she said she's been going out with him for about 6 months. But he's not going up to that level. He's not going to get intimate. I mean, please. There's 2 reasons why a man doesn't want to get intimate, and I'm not going to say them on this video. So, what else is there? Yeah, and also these men that say they like you, and then they pay you all this attention 1 minute, and they give you, they make you feel like $1 million. They're sharing their innermost secrets. They make you feel as though you're making a headway. You feel as though, he's told me about this. He's told me about his parents. He's told me about his childhood. He's told me this. He's told me that. I'm making progress. The next time you meet them, they're going on like you're invading their privacy. You can't ask them any question. You can't even follow up on what they told you. They make it look like you've made it up, and they didn't even share that kind of information with you. Because after they've walked away, they kind of thought, oh my God, I've kind of made myself vulnerable there. So I'm not going to admit to that. So they just go silent. It's a way of protecting themselves. When they start getting too close, they start withdrawing. And it's this push, pull, push, pull. And you can wait there till the cows come home thinking that you're going to make it a step further. That every time you meet, you're going to make progress. But it'll be 10 steps forward and 11 steps back each time. Because people who do that do not have the wherewithal to get beyond that. It's familiar for them. They don't see anything wrong with it. It's not like they just calculate it. It's a habit that they've developed. And they don't know how to get out of it. And the scary thing is that they actually deny most of the time what you're telling them. If you say to them, look, you told me you were going to see me such and such, they'll actually deny it. Make you think as though you're going loopy. Make you question yourself. So when people can't follow through on small commitments or do not show up when they promise to, this means they're not serious about their relationship with you. And that's hard to accept because you want to believe that they are serious, because you're holding on to those glimpses of where they have softened, where you've seen that side of him that you love. I used to go out with this guy. And every now and then I would get a glimpse of his humaneness, of his consideration, of how it is to be loved by someone. Every so often. But then, it would withdraw and you're back to where you started. It's not worth it. They're afraid. They don't want to come out. They don't want to love because they're so afraid to be hurt. But sometimes they'll forget and they'll get involved with you in a way, and they'll let their guard down and they'll let their emotions show. And then when they realise, it's like, oh my God, I've got to put on this stiff face. I've got to show them some butt, show them some, me not boy, me a man. Me not deal with them thing there. Me not deal with any softness. That's what they do. They just go right back, afraid of exposing themselves, afraid of that vulnerability. And it's sabotaging. They're self-sabotaging all the time. They're sabotaging each relationship they go in because they're afraid to be hurt. But everyone is afraid to be hurt. But we take risks. We have to take risks. We have to put our feet in the water and try again. It might not be with that person, but you can't live in fear of being hurt. You can't protect yourself from being hurt. Because by virtue of protecting yourself from being hurt, you do get hurt. That's the paradox. I did say I wasn't going to get passionate in this video, but I do. So yeah, if you have got somebody who is playing games, it is best to move on. You know, it's hard. It sounds quite hard, but you know, these people have to grow up. They have to grow up, and they're not gonna grow up in your lifetime or in your the lifetime that you have that you want to enjoy with somebody. They're going to grow up when when they're in their 60s, 70s, and you know you can't have all the fun and games that you wanted to have because they're old when they could have done it in their 40s and they were too terrified. They wait till their 50s, they're still terrified. They wait till their 60s and they're still terrified. And then somewhere within the mid to late 60s, they think, boy, you know, maybe we should have give it a little try. Maybe we should have show her some love, or maybe we should have show her my feelings, or, you know. But by that time, it's just like, what is the point? What is the point? You can't even, you know, everything's an effort at that age. And yes, you can do a few little things and you can make yourself look good and you can step out and go on like say a bossy. But as soon as you go home, you're just like, boy, I'm tired, you know. You know, I have to put my foot up, I need a bath. Why, you know? You're tired. So why wait until you're in your 60s and 70s before you take a chance? Sometimes I kind of switch, don't I? One minute I'm talking for the women, and the next minute I find myself talking about to the men. How bizarre. Anyway, let me see. So, if a man is interested in you, they're going to show consistent interest. They're not going to be all over you one minute and then distance you the next, because that's what people who play games do. They mess with your mind all over you, make you think you're the best thing to slice bread. And then they don't call you. If you call them, they're going on like you're a nuisance, like you're an invasion to their privacy. And you end up feeling confused. Don't let anybody confuse you. So men are interested when they're consistent. Playing games, like I said, is a form of self-sabotage. They'll create a problem knowing full well it will interfere with their relationship. And yeah, it's because they're afraid to take the relationship further. They're afraid to say, I love you. They're afraid to say, I do. They're afraid of everything, really, because they just want to make sure. They have to play all these games and do all these testing things to make sure. And by the time they've made sure and they think, oh yeah, this is the woman I want, this is the woman I want to spend time with, she's got fed up and bottled it. And so he has to start all over again. And then he's even going to be even more reserved with the next person, because now he's kind of thought, well, look, I thought I had it all sorted. I thought I had it sussed. And now this woman has gone as well, because she took so bloody long to work it out. You just have to go on your feelings. Your feelings are all you have. And your feelings will tell you if somebody is kosher and someone is not. If you get a funny feeling about someone, you'll know. And sometimes it's not even about them. Sometimes it's about their ways. And you have to kind of ask yourself, am I able to manage this behavior? But you know, it is about just going with your gut. And then if they deliberately put off commitments, Then they sit at home, they're starting drinking and smoking and taking drugs because it's kind of nulling their senses. They're trying to think, well, they're not sure about what they're doing is right, so they dull their senses. They drink too much, they smoke too much, they gamble too much, whatever it is, whatever distraction it is, to stop them from feeling for you and thinking about you and denying their feelings. That's what they're doing. They're denying their feelings. It's a bit silly. And these guys are usually playing the field. They've got other interests they lead people on. It's a way of soliciting admiration to feel good about themselves. So if they kind of hold themselves back, then and you call, it's like, oh, she loves me. The woman there, she check for me. You see how she'll call me. She'll call off my phone. Me not answer my phone, I'm gonna make her a call. I can call her next week. That's what they do. They sit there, they look at the phone and make them feel good, so you call them. But they're not thinking, they're not putting themselves in your place and thinking, okay, I'm calling this man. He's not returning my calls. I can't be bothered. They're not thinking that, They're thinking, why, she like me, she love me. And she's going to be there until, you're ready for her. That's what they think. No, she ain't going to be there till you're ready for her. She's going to go about her business if she's got any sense. Because it's not about playing games. It's not about control. And when you're ready, you're going to show us that, you like her and all that. You have to show people that you like them when you like them. It's not a thing that you gauge. It's not a thing that you monitor and you decide, okay, after about a certain amount of time, I'm going to tell her this or I'm going to do that. It doesn't work like that. By that time, the woman's got bloody peed off and gone about her business. And then no matter how you start calling her, and goodness knows, she's not interested. So it's not about, you can't control these things. Sometimes relationships are brought together by the universe. Sometimes it's ordained. Sometimes they say it's divine intervention when two people are brought together. And then you have the opportunity to be with somebody and you start playing games and mess it all up. I don't know. You need a little spanking, I think. So, and then some of them, they create such high expectations. Either the woman or the man can't meet it anyway. Them have this kind of... And the funny thing is that they don't have not much, And yet they have these high expectations. Me want a woman, she have to look like a queen. She have to have a good job. She have to have a car. She have to own her own yard. She have to have money in the bank. And that kind of woman we want. Me don't want a woman who not work. And then what do they have? What have they got? Are they coming in with the same thing that they're demanding, please? And then when they get such a woman, they start playing games. They still play games. Because when they get that woman, then they start thinking, boy, I don't know if we can keep her. I'm going to test and check to see whether or not I can keep her. And then they start all this kind of foolishness. See if she like me really. I wonder if she like me for myself. And the people are insecure. They need so much reassurance you would not believe. They need their ego massaged. Time, and not even once. You tell a man says, oh, why do you love me? And you say, okay, I love you because you're such an affectionate person. You're thoughtful, you're considerate. I love the way you make me laugh. 2 twos down the road. Oh, why you love me? Why do you need so much reassurance? So, and I think it's that when they're playing games, it's their way of getting reassurance indirectly. Because when they're ignoring you and they're watching you call off their phone, you are reassuring them that you still care, that you're still interested. It gets tiring. So like I said, they're protecting themselves from being hurt, but they end up getting hurt anyway. Some of them, they don't believe they deserve to be happy. You know, that's the sad thing about it. Some men, they don't even believe that they deserve. They don't even think they're worthy of getting the women that they do get. Some men get some wicked woman, you know. They get some really, really good woman, but they don't feel as though they're worthy of that woman, and they mess it up. Regardless of how the woman says she loves him, they mess it up because deep in their soul they don't believe that she loves him. So games don't get you anywhere. That's all I can say. No one's got time for them, and we're all adults. We need to behave like adults. And that's all I've got to say about that. Bye-bye.